So we took out these ugly cypress things that blocked the neighbor, took them out, and then it was like ugly neighbor's house that was like trash cans and all these tools, and you were like, what the heck?
Laundry machine in the side yard. Like,
yeah.
That's weird
and I was
stuff.
like,
I'm
going to
cool.
put the red banana plants in there. I'm like, give it 3.
They were tiny. They were so low.
They were like maybe a foot and a half, like 18 inches.
This doesn't cover the washing machine that I can see.
Give it a couple months and you won't see any of it. And she's like, yeah, right. And I think within 6 to 8 weeks, they were 6 feet tall.
Yeah, it was insane. Welcome back to The Broke Billionaires, where we document our daily struggles in building wealth while raising a young family. Join us as we talk creative wealth building for everyday people and couples that are struggling in a down economy. I'm Lauren.
And I'm Joshua Masari, and we'll be your hosts.
Welcome back to The Broke Millionaires.
We are recording late again, but we got sleep last night.
We did.
So it's a little better.
We were blessed with a 7.5 hour stretch, which was amazing. I was still really tired. You would think I would feel rested, but I think it's just days of
stacked on top of,
Takes some time to.
The night before was pretty rough.
Yeah, that was a rough one.
Yeah. But how are you doing?
Oh, I just had a little moment. The
little meltdown.
Realization that we're moving in 2-ish?
2 weeks.
2 weeks.
With a 3-week-old. Well, he'll be 5 by then.
Yeah,
so.
Just kind of all hit me. We've done it before, not with a baby this young, but it's okay.
We will make it.
We will make it.
We tend to put ourselves in situations that are not comfortable. I wouldn't recommend it.
No. Not at all.
We just seem to continually do this to ourselves.
Yeah. I think we're just stupid at this point. Maybe one day I'll take that back, but in the moment, I feel really stupid.
Yeah, but at the same time, like, we're doing something that very few people do.
Yeah, and there's a reason.
The extent that we do it and what we put ourselves through, like, I feel like people, one, don't understand it. They don't understand the sacrifice.
Yeah.
They can't comprehend the sacrifice.
Yeah.
But on the flip side, people are like we had so many people say, like, wait, you own 3 houses? And I was like, oh yeah, well, you own 3 houses, Costa Mesa. We all own, another 20 houses out of state. Like, that's not like a huge portfolio, but for, people our age around here, buying one house is a pretty big commitment.
It's not easy.
No, it's not easy at all. I mean, look what's done to us. It's even harder when you try to do it times 3.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not an easy road. I don't want people to think that we have this, we've built up this wealth and we have all these houses and everything's just all.
If anyone ever says to me, I'm just projecting that we're going to really, be doing really well one day. If anyone ever says that we're lucky.
You hate that, don't you?
I hate it so much.
So those are like the words that just like
those words
make you cringe.
Because
there's nothing lucky about our situation or what we built up.
We have sacrificed so much.
Yeah. This is
not been easy.
Most people wouldn't make the sacrifices that we are making now to secure a better future. So luck has nothing to do with it.
Hopefully we don't fall on our face and this doesn't go anywhere, because then that's going to really suck. But
I mean, luck does play something into it, because we've had some big equity upswings that are lucky because you don't know when those are coming. But we worked hard and put ourselves in a position to be able to capitalize on those appreciation booms.
And we've done it all ourselves.
Yeah.
No one helped us buy our first home or helped us in any capacity. It's been us.
Yeah.
So there was no leg up or any head start.
No. I mean, I started with the first California property when I, came here out of college, and
Yeah.
I had lost a house in Arizona, and so I had bad credit and had to rebuild that to be able to, rebuild that for a few years to where I could buy a house, and saved up money and put myself in a position to be able to buy that first property. And we've been able to leverage that into the next one, and then that one to the next one, and we'll probably
And here
do it
we are
again.
with bad credit again.
Oh yeah, speaking of bad credit. So we've really kind of hit a wall with our finances because finishing the current project we've been talking about, which is just about done. We'll talk about that in a few minutes, but with the carrying costs on that, it's just killing us. And right now, that's like our main priority is making sure that those payments are made, because those loans are not normal bank loans, and those loans could foreclose and we could lose things real fast. So those are like our primary mortgages that we make sure are paid, because the first position is a seller carryback, and we don't want to miss that. Don't want to get on their bad side, and don't want to get in a situation where they would want to take the property back. So
yeah,
that one, we've never missed a payment. Missed a payment by a couple days, but we never hit a penalty on it.
Yeah.
And then the construction loan is a hard money loan, and those guys don't mess around. You miss a payment on those, and
they call that real quick.
Yeah, they will take out that first and buy the property at a really good discount and turn around and sell it, especially when it's done like it is now. So, with all that and all the other carrying costs that we've got on our other properties, and, we do have other loans. Pretty much everything's related to the properties. We do have some credit card debt. There was some large credit card loans that were like 0% that we're taking out for the properties, that went into the properties. And then when the refinance that was supposed to pay those back didn't happen, we got stuck carrying those, and the interest rate went up, and we're still trying to figure those out. But we've definitely had some debt go bad, and trying to deal with that and navigate that and keep creditors happy and try not to completely obliterate our credit, which I think I
think we're there.
Yeah. I think it's to the point where it's going to make it hard.
I think we're pretty much there.
I mean, yeah. We were already at the point where getting a loan with a bank was going to be hard anyway. So now we definitely have to go creative finance, because I don't think we have a choice. But 7 years from now, it'll all be gone and we'll be doing great and it won't matter. But in the meantime, we've got some debt that we just haven't been able to keep up on without having income. We lost most of our income, and so the income was a big deal. And when you're only bringing in $25,000 a month, but your expenses are $30,000 a month with your carrying costs, it doesn't work out very well. It doesn't last very long. Once you burn through your savings, which we did, all went into the project, and bleeding money each month, it eats it up fast. So
yeah,
here we are trying to navigate which creditors are going to get paid and which ones are going to hopefully not settle. Hopefully we don't have to like charge off anything or settle anything, but
we are dangerously close
we're,
to that.
We're at the point where like, do we just try to settle with some of these creditors and take the hit? Do we take a charge off? I think charge off is so if you're facing credit issues, bankruptcy is obviously like the final straw. Like that's the worst case scenario. You don't want that to happen. But the next step is, with unsecured debt, there's charge offs, which is like the second worst thing you can do, which is basically a creditor says, well, you can't pay. We're just going to charge this off and take the loss, and it's going to show on your credit as a charge off, which is basically
looks awful.
Looks pretty bad. Yeah, that's pretty bad. And then you end up paying taxes on that charge off amount because it's considered income in most situations. And then the next thing is a settlement, where if you owe somebody, say you owe them $10,000, and then they may settle for 40 cents on the dollar. So you might be able to pay 40,000. Usually
4,000, you mean?
I mean, sorry, 4,000. It's late. Usually it's a lump sum payment, or they'll break it up. I think they'll do like a 4-part payment plan, like a 4-month payment plan. So you got to do it in 4 equal parts. But you can settle for 40 cents on the dollar, usually around there, maybe a little less, maybe a little more, depending on what they're willing to do. And it shows settled. It'll show on the credit, though, it will show a settlement agreement was reached and it was paid as agreed. So it does look bad because creditors are going to see you didn't pay the full amount. You did pay something.
Mm-hmm.
It's better than a charge off. So it shows that you did pay something and you worked something out, but it shows that the creditor got screwed and didn't get all their money. And then the other thing is just trying to work out payment plans with them. They'll do you can do a financial hardship and they'll do reduced interest, which we've got on some of our creditors right now. They'll do a really low interest rate for 12 months to help you get caught up. And it helps a lot because you're just paying, the interest, which is a lot lower at that point, and you can pay down more principal, and it makes it a little easier to get caught up. So we're kind of in that situation where we've been navigating that for quite some time now.
Yeah.
So we tried to do this refinance that was supposed to happen, and the lender still think it was a sketchy situation, but didn't go through after they had already said that they would do it, and last minute pulled back. And that was kind of what was going to keep us going until we finish up this project. And so we've been just trying to live by the hang on by a thread the last 6 months.
We've made it
because that was December. So the last 6 months have just been really, really rough, but we are getting close to the end here.
When we said we needed to just, what was our saying at the end of last year?
Well, it was survive till 25, and now it's survive 25. And so we're halfway through it, and we're still treading water, but we're taking gulps. But the good news is we do have this project completed, close to completed. It's signed off, and we do have it booked. So there is somebody coming in on a 60-day contract. So we've got it starting in July. So that'll be a huge burden off our backs, because that's a huge. I mean, that's a $12,000 a month carrying costs. Between all the the mortgages, the mortgage, construction loan, taxes, insurance, that'll be a big weight off our backs. And then we're going to be, personally, we're actually moving personally, and we'll be going back into one of our rental properties that'll be getting vacated this next week. And that one I bought in 2011. It's got 3% interest and payments like $2,500. So
much smaller than what we've been
smaller than what we've been living. Yeah, lower payment, also smaller house, but we're going to be doing some redeveloping on that. So we'll update you guys on that project as we go along. We're going to do a couple of ADUs, but in the meantime, we'll be living there, just doing plans and figuring out what we can do with it. And it'll be a lower cost of living, so it'll help us get back on track. And so
Again, how many families do you know that 4 kids and decide to downsize?
So as we have more kids, we keep moving to smaller houses.
Smaller and smaller.
They keep getting smaller.
What is wrong with us?
This is a 4-bedroom, 1,300 square foot home. Really going small here. But July is going to be good for us. We'll start going back in the right direction.
Sure hope so.
I mean, it can't get much worse. Any worse than this, and
we keep saying that, but yet it keeps happening.
But it literally can't get much worse than this. So I shouldn't say that.
Yeah.
So anyway, so we have the project that's finishing up. We've got a few weeks to get it all finalized. We've got just a few things, backyard patio. I've been working on that on the weekends. Barbecue.
We know we'll
island.
be down to the wire on that again too.
So I got the barbecue island. I'm getting all the wiring done on that. Got to do all the cladding. We got the countertops coming in on it. It's going to be a really nice outdoor kitchen entertaining space. It's going to be super cool. We're hoping that maybe between bookings we might be able to use it here and there, or outdoor dinners or something. Might be kind of cool. But it's going to be a pretty sweet place.
Yeah,
we did a good job with that one.
We did.
But to get across the finish line, since we've ran out of money, we had to take out a loan, a private loan on this one. So we've got another hard money loan, just a smaller loan, but just enough to get us across the finish line and get it completed, get it furnished and ready to go for the tenants coming in. Luckily we've already got the first 2 months rented. So, it's renting for $13,000 a month. So we're getting good income on it to cover the carrying costs. And then we've got some other capital events happening to pay back that loan. So we'll get that one across the finish line. We're excited about that.
You might have this in your notes for later, but we'll have to talk about kind of going back to when we list the properties, like at what point, because I think that's a little bit different from what other people do too. That's probably one of the things you had on there, right?
I think we touched on that last week.
Did we?
I don't remember.
I can't remember.
We can touch on it again. We'll start with that. So anyway, we got this one finishing up down to the wire as usual on these Airbnb long midterm bookings. We always take a booking and get down to the wire. Oh, let's just talk about it now.
Yeah.
So what we do that's different than a lot of other people, and it's probably a bad idea because people tell us it's a bad idea, but we've always done it and it's always worked out for us, is when we're finishing up construction on a property, we'll stage certain parts of it, like a few parts of it, a couple rooms, some certain angles where you can't see construct. Like we'll get good shots of the kitchen angling this way, but not the other way where the walls are all open and everything's not complete. So we make it look like it's kind of done. But if you look closely, like the outlets are missing covers and like there's all this stuff that's like not actually finished. But
I mean, it was a rendering that we put up.
We've done renderings,
of the exterior of the house because it was still, the siding wasn't complete when we had originally put it up.
So the point is we'll list a house 3 months before it's complete to start taking bookings, and we'll usually get a booking ahead of time.
And to start understanding too if we're getting interest in it. Yeah,
to find out, play with the market, find out the price point and kind of gauge that, rather than a lot of people will finish it, they'll finish construction, they'll get it furnished, they'll spend all this money and they'll put it on Airbnb or put out their marketing everywhere and expect it to get rented right away. And it doesn't. Crickets. And it's like crickets. And like they may be new to the game and they just haven't figured out how to market it and where to market it and how to play that. But we've always done this ahead of time, and we've always it's kind of a more of a comfort thing. We've got this big property and we've got carrying costs on it, and we want to know when it's done that it's going to be rented right away. And so for us,
it does give a peace of mind for sure.
We've got it rented 1 to 2 months in advance. It's just like, okay, let's go. Let's get this done. We can put the money, put the extra money into, because you got to furnish it too, and that's expensive. So now okay, we're putting this money into it, but we're getting the money right back out because it's already rented.
Yeah.
So we've always done that and done really well with it. It is kind of a little bit of a risk because you have to have it ready. You can't have the house not ready for somebody, or they move in, it's not finished, it's not furnished, like you got problems.
We have gotten dangerously close
like multiple times, like finishing it up as people are coming up the driveway. That's happened 2 or 3 times now.
We were late to a wedding because we were finishing up one of our units.
Yeah.
Just always.
But then it's always, it gives us peace of mind because it's rented. And then we've always done really well with getting back back to back right after that reservations. And then we're off to the races. And then our properties have just stayed full since then. So it's a good strategy. It's worked well for us. I don't know that I would recommend it to somebody that's new to it, although we did it on our first one. I think you just got to be able to make sure you can commit and you're going to have.
We're big risk takers, if you haven't noticed.
Yeah. I also think we procrastinate. So if we didn't have that booking, it would probably take another 2 months to finish these projects because
we don't have a hard
there's no sense of urgency, but we have a sense of urgency. Like we have to have it done. So usually I'm at the property till like 2 or 3 in the morning or the day of. I'm there till 2 or 3 in the morning, like putting beds together and getting everything all done. And
you'll for sure be there checking in.
Hopefully we can at least get this one set up a little sooner.
A little less chaotic, maybe. Get photos of it this time.
Oh yeah, we got to schedule so we don't have photos of this because it's not done. So,
but even for ourselves,
but we need photos for the listing because we have we don't even have all the bedrooms photographed.
Right. I remember the last one. We didn't even have time to go through once we were literally putting pillows in pillowcases and blankets on beds as they were coming in. So I had no time to go around and take even photos on my phone just to have those of before and afters and whatnot.
Yeah,
but
I agree.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's how we do things. I don't know if it's good or bad, but it works for us.
Yeah.
So another update, the South Carolina flip. I think we touched a little bit on last week. We got an investor there that is doing a renovation on a property we own and managing the flip. On these out-of-state flips, it's a lot easier to partner with somebody that's there and can manage it, and things have gotten done. Like a flip that would have taken me 4, 5, 6 months to manage just because I'm not there and trying to get people there and get things done, making sure they're done, rely on people to send me pictures to see if it's done. This couple has, done an amazing job in about 30 days, gotten this flip done. I believe today's Monday. I believe the appraiser's coming out in the next day or two to come do the appraisal and just make sure everything's done. It's an FHA loan, so they got to check everything, make sure there's no repairs that need to be done still. But that worked out really good. Might have been a little more than 30. It might have been like 6 weeks, but it was like a time crunch thing because this property's under contract, and I wasn't going to do that on my own. I'm like, I'll do this if you partner because it's not going to get done in time with me being out of state. So it was a really good opportunity for this couple. It's actually the listing agent that brought the buyer to me.
That's right.
And then I said, hey, look, if you're open to this, or if you know somebody that'll do this, I'd be open to taking this offer, but I can't commit to it out of state on my own. So it was a good opportunity for them to be involved in a flip and make some money, both on the selling property and doing the flip. So they're pretty excited about that. So hopefully this all works out. We'll update you on that. Hopefully it closes. It's supposed to close 30th of this month. So, FHA sometimes get delayed a little bit because additional things that the bank wants to see done, if the appraiser notes anything, but hopefully we got enough time to get those done. I think the buyer has until the middle of next month before their loan expires. So that was the thing, is their pre-approval. We're trying to get it closed within their pre-approval time. So hopefully end of the month, that'll close and be completed.
You have a new business idea that you sprung on me today.
Yeah, this is how my mind thinks. So I've been trying to get the landscaping finished up at this project we're closing out, and I always get these red banana plants for our properties as the initial foliage, I guess you want to call it. Well, so it's really good blocking.
One of our signature.
It's these red banana plants. If you ever need something that's like grows really fast, looks beautiful, and blocks your neighbors, it's a red banana plant. And if you're in a Southern California or warm climate, they're not that expensive typically. And you plant them, you feed them some vitamins, water them a lot, and in warm weather, they just explode.
He told me about these plants at our last property, and I forget what the timeline was you gave me of how quickly they were going to grow. But I think it was they grew even faster.
So we took out these ugly cypress things that blocked them, took them out, and then it was like ugly neighbor's house. It was like trash cans and all these tools, and you were like, what the heck?
Laundry machine in the side yard.
That's weird
and I was
stuff. I'm going to put the red banana plants in there. I'm like, give it 3.
They were tiny. They were so low.
They were like maybe a foot and a half, like 18 inches.
This doesn't cover the washing machine that I can see.
Give it a couple months and you won't see any of it. And she's like, yeah, right. And I think within 6 to 8 weeks, they were 6 feet tall.
Yeah, it was insane.
Like these leaves are giant. They're like 6 feet long and like 2 feet wide. They're huge. So you plant them every like 5 feet and it just creates this wall instantly.
Yeah.
They only last a few years and they die out. The ones we put in there, actually, 2 of them are still there. They're starting to die out. They're almost done. But they usually last like 3 to 4 years and then they start to die off. If you get it to last long enough, they will have this flower that's super rare, I guess. You could sell, I don't know.
Oh, if you can like keep it alive that long?
The one at Dorset Lane, the original plants that I bought, one of them lasted and it was like 20 feet tall and had these giant flowers that started blooming and all this like seed, and there's some guava something, I don't know. Anyway, they're banana plants, but they don't make banana. They're not actual bananas. They're no bananas.
Fruitless banana.
Yeah, I guess. So anyway, I've been trying to find these and they're usually like super cheap. You get them like $5 to $10 for a gallon container, and I can't find them anywhere. All the nurseries, nobody has them. And I called this big nursery, Moon Valley. It's like the big commercial nursery. And they said, we are, like haven't been getting those. They're really hard to get right now. We've got a few. And the smallest size they had was 15 gallon, which is a pretty big bucket. It was probably like a 6-foot plant, which is really, when I buy them, that's like, they're that tall after like, a few months, like, 2-3 months. But they wanted like $400 for it. It was like $350 to $400 for these. I was like, what? And they're like, yeah. He's like, we usually have the 24-inch boxes, which is like the next size up. And then they sell those ones for like, he's like, usually like between $600 and $800. I was like, are we talking about the same thing? So apparently there's a shortage of these.
Okay.
And I'm going to start growing them. I'm just going to put it out there.
Add it to the list.
The next house we're moving to has got a great backyard for it. There's a whole back area that's not
plant man.
It's not like it gets a lot of sun. I'm going to put a greenhouse there and I'm going to start growing these. Yeah, they'll grow even faster.
Ryan will love this.
So these red banana plants, I'm going to try to grow them from seed because you can't find them anywhere right now. So I can't buy them anywhere. I don't think you can legally import them. I don't know. I got to look into that.
Where do they come from?
I don't know. Florida usually that's where that stuff comes from, but a lot of the nurseries, they've stopped importing. So I don't know if it's something with the laws have changed and that's why all of a sudden you can't get these.
Considered importing if it's within the country?
Across country. Yeah, well, when it comes to fruit and agriculture, you can't take it across state lines.
Oh, that's right.
So, but if you grow it from seed, then it's native to California and it's fine.
Okay.
Because you can get seeds here in California.
Okay.
Because they don't want like disease. It's a disease thing. They don't want like, a locust outbreak in Florida coming over to California type of thing.
All right. Makes sense.
So anyway, if I can figure out how to grow these from seed and in a greenhouse, I know how fast they grow. So if they're really going for this much, I mean, I can grow 200 of these plants and make $100,000
Where
1 year.
Where do you have room to grow 100 of these?
In the greenhouse.
There's no way there's room in that backyard.
The whole backyard's going to be a greenhouse. The one behind the house.
Yeah, no, I know what you're talking about, but
the kids aren't going to play over there.
Room for 100 of these plants.
They're little plants. That's fine.
How big are you going to? Okay. How big are they going to be when you sell them?
6 feet tall.
We don't have room for 100 6-foot tall plants.
It'll be like a jungle, but I can make it work.
Do you see what I deal with?
I might have to sell a few of them before they get to that point. Maybe I'll sell them for half price. Anyway, if there's an opportunity here, the boys will absolutely love planting these seeds and growing them and then transplanting them. And then as you go, getting them into 15-gallon buckets, they're going to love it. I'll pay them for it. They'll take a cut. It's going to be amazing. It's probably not going to work out. But if it does, we could make this could be another one of those $100,000 businesses and only take 4 months out of the year.
I will say, clearly what we're doing, talking about work ethic and all of this, is working with our oldest, because the last week he has randomly decided to start cleaning and organizing the entire house. And as soon as he's done, he comes to Josh and says, okay, can I have money now?
So I had to curb that. I'm like, I'll tell you what, you do this all week and I will give you a $2 bill on Saturday morning. He's like, and he goes, yes. I was like, okay.
Not each time. He was trying each time.
No, he was trying for that.
It was like night after night. Like, okay, no. Where's my money? Then our second youngest,
he just wants the money. He doesn't want to work for it.
Wants the money. He's
like, where's my? You got to clean. He's like, I don't want to clean. Like, then you don't get money.
He's like, money.
No, but I want money. Doesn't quite get it yet.
It's going to be a lawyer or a drummer. Two very opposite things, but.
Or just a freeloader.
It's a good negotiator, though, that one.
Living at home at 45 and getting allowance. We won't let that happen.
No, never.
Just a quick disclaimer. The information shared on this podcast is for informational purposes only and should not be considered as financial, tax, or legal advice. Always consult with a qualified professional before making any financial decisions. Your individual circumstances may differ and require specific strategies not discussed here. Now, let's get back to the show. All right, so what are we talking about? Let's
continuing on from last week's episode with midterm rental strategies.
Yes, I think this is
we had some really long notes last week, so this is just, we had to cut it.
We broke it up. So this is like part 3 of our MTR series that we're doing right now. So we first talked about how to set it up and kind of where they're good at and what to look for, and if you're looking at getting into it. Last episode we talked about marketing, how to make sure that you're always filling it, where to network on these, and then some of the things to make your listing stand out and really create that value in a hot commodity compared to everything else that's out there. So today we're going to talk about calendar control, which is really important with midterm rentals.
You've kind of mastered this, I feel like.
I would not say that. I'm still testing different things, and I would not say we master. We still make mistakes on it, but I think that we do better than most. I will say that.
Seems like with all the work you've put in, it seems like you should.
Yeah, I mean, I'm always like trying to tweak it and figure out. So it's a little different between short-term rentals, because short-term rentals, you just open your calendar up, you put it on, and you just start taking bookings. Try to fill every weekend, but you don't fill it in order. You get a booking in July, a booking in August, and then you get a booking next weekend, and then you just kind of like fill in all these holes. That doesn't work with midterm rentals because, well, two things. We only do midterm rentals. We don't do short terms. There are operators that do a hybrid where they do both, which is nice because if they do get a gap, let's say you've got a 60-day contract that ends in August, and then your next one doesn't start until September 15th for whatever reason, and you end up with a 2-week gap. So we can't fill that 2-week gap because we can only do 30 days in our city. We are not allowed to take anything less than 30 days. So we end up with 2 weeks of vacancy that we can't do anything with.
Well, we put it on.
We got other, we do peer space. So we'll rent these out for commercial space and stuff like that.
To those opportunities.
And then we'll do or a home exchange, so we can exchange it for points for our travel. So we found ways to still capitalize on it, but we can't rent it out and take bookings on it, which is our number one priority for the use of these properties. So with what we do, we get stuck with that. Now, other people that do the hybrid model, they have a little more flexibility to take it and not have to worry about the gap, because they can take short-term bookings and know, especially in hotter months, if it's a seasonal place in summer, winter, whatever, they know they're going to be able to backfill those gaps and not have any vacancies.
Yeah.
With what we do, we're not able to do that. So with midterm rentals only, you really have to have good calendar control. And what I mean by that is you can't just take bookings all over the place. If you, let's say, okay, so this is June now. Let's say you got a booking that ends in June. You don't want to take a booking in August, starting August 1st, because you end up with a gap in July. Now, if you have a full 30-day gap, you can still fill that in.
Which we have done.
Which we've actually done, and we've been pretty lucky.
We got real close to not filling it.
Yeah.
And that was a last-minute booking.
And we've actually been able to find people that only needed 30 days, and that was it. So the problem is, if somebody needs it for 2 months or 3 months, you're not even going to pull up in the searches, because when they search for those dates, you're not even going to show up as available because the following month is booked.
Does it show up as, I've seen this before, where it's like, say you put in your dates and it's like there's not one house that's available for your full dates, but there's 2 nearby?
Probably.
Does it show up that way?
It shows where you hop from one.
I've never tried doing
so we probably still get, because we'll still get people requesting me like, hey, is this available?
Most people don't want to do that.
Yeah.
Switch over.
So you kind of shoot yourself in the foot. Like, it's hard not to take a booking because you want to take it and you want to fill it, but we've gotten to where we've turned down a lot of bookings because of these gaps that are harder to fill, and we don't want to do that. So what we try to do is we try to stack reservations on top of each other. And so we want the next guest coming in to come in with like no more than a week gap. More than a week is what we try to avoid.
Yeah.
And we've done a lot of things to play around with it, and trying to avoid it. And, we'll still take bookings, but right now, the way we're doing it is we're only taking bookings within 15 days of the checkout date of the previous guest on a 30-day stay. So if somebody's only staying for 30 days, they can only book it right after that opens up, basically.
Right.
So that way it stacks the reservation. If it's only a 30-day reservation, it's stacking it. We're not getting that big gap, so we're cool with that. After 15 days, it jumps up to 60 days. So if we're going to take something that's going to cause a 3-week gap, 3 to 4 week gap, it's not ideal for us, but they're going to have to rent it for at least 2 months. So at least we know we're getting 2 full solid months with no vacancies at all. So it helps a little bit. Still not ideal, but it does help make up for that vacancy. And we still have our other things. We still have Peer Space, so we'll start marketing, Peer Space and Home Exchange for those empty dates to make sure we're still getting something and getting use out of the property. But that's how we control our calendar. And then after that next month, so we do that. We'll do 60 days for the rest of that month, and I'm just kind of playing on when the cutoff is. I've been doing the full next month is still 60 days. And then after that, it becomes 90 days. So we got more time to try to fill those farther dates. And we're not so worried about those. We're more worried about the closer ones. And we want to incentivize people to do those closer ones. And we're trying to fill those first. But if somebody's going to book in October or even September, and we're going to have 2 or 3 months, we got to try to maybe fill 2 in between. And we might end up getting one in the middle, which creates a gap on the front end and the back end that we can't fill. So it's a little riskier taking these farther out reservations. But if we do that, somebody's got to rent it for 90 days. And so it's like, okay, it's a 90-day booking. That's going to be a decent amount of income. So it's worth taking for the hassle of trying to fill these other ones.
Right.
So that's kind of how we are controlling our calendar. There's other people that do pricing. So they'll increase the price to try to incentivize people to stack. I haven't quite figured out a method that I like that works that well. I don't like changing our price. I like to keep the same price. With our marketing, we have the same price listed everywhere.
I was going to say, that's a good note, is keeping it the same across the board.
Yeah, we do that. And there's, I don't know that one way is better than the other. The short-term rentals, dynamic pricing is really, really common where, the weekends are higher and holidays are higher, summer months are higher. With midterm, we'll do some of the more popular properties, here in California, the summer months, July, August, September, get a lot more requests. There's a lot more demand because we got vacationers coming in on top of the other normal requests that we get. So we will do a slight increase for those times, but it's not like a crazy increase. And rather than having dynamic pricing and just jumping all over the place, we just keep a set price. It's our monthly price. We advertise it everywhere, and it's just the same monthly price. So I like doing that and playing with the length of stay versus jumping all over with pricing and trying to keep tabs on everything.
Right.
I think it also creates a little more trust with people rather than having your pricing all over the place, because it might go up, even if you've got apps that you're using for this, it might be up on this website, but the other website's not auto updating and you got to do it manually. You're not keeping up. Now you got different pricing everywhere, and it just is a lot more work to manage that. And especially with like these insurance claim property, they don't like, if you give them a price, they don't like to see that same property listed on another website that you own and it's a different price. That's really bad. So for us, just keeping same pricing consistent everywhere is how we like to run our business model. So playing with the calendar seems to be the best way to go. And this is actually a strategy that I took from Vivian, that's how she does it in a similar fashion. She does a hybrid model, but she does something kind of similar to that. So I'm just playing with the amount of days to see what works best to fill these quickly and make sure we're not getting those gaps. So I'm still kind of playing with it and trying to fine tune it, but that's how we're controlling it. Now, again, if you have a property where you can do short term as well as midterm, you can backfill those gaps with short term. But here's the thing you got to be careful with. You don't want to take future short term bookings, because then you shoot yourself in the foot for these longer 30-day bookings. You don't want to take a weekend in July, because if somebody comes in July 1st and you got a booking, say July 20th for the weekend or whatever, somebody comes and says, hey, July 1st, I need this for 4 months. You can't take that because now you have a booking that just gets in the way of that. So if you're going to do that, you need to block your calendar for short-term bookings in the future and only have it available for midterm. And then once those are booked, you can come in and you can backfill your gaps prior to that. But after the booking date you're trying to stack, you want to make sure that you're only taking those midterm longer stays.
Yeah. That's good to know.
Yeah. So I think that's really important. But, and every market's going to be different too. So what we're doing may not work for somebody else. Other people might have better strategies. I don't know. We're still kind of playing with it, but I think, it's going to be market specific too on the type of clientele that's looking for these properties.
Yeah, I agree. What about guest screening? It's probably one of our more, wow, can't find my words. Words are hard. Requested questions.
Yeah. So when people reach out to us about co-hosting, like that's one of the biggest things they want to know. Like, hey, I'm opening up my home to 30-day stays. Now these people are going to have tenants' rights. And like people are very worried and concerned about that. And it's a valid concern, especially in California. We actually have property that we're talking to about co-hosting right now that's dealing with a trespassing situation. And it was kind of a different situation. It wasn't somebody that's overstayed their welcome. It was another situation that they're trying to deal with and remove these people, but they had to get the police involved, and they didn't do proper screening on the front end. And so there was some red flags that probably should have done a little more screening to find out that these probably weren't guests that they wanted in the home. And so the situation they're in right now, point being, they probably could have avoided this with proper screening. That they didn't have a proper guest lease in place, and like there's a lot of check marks that were missed on this booking. So what we do, we use a method. We kind of have our own guest screening process that we've come up with, or I would say tailored, but really what this is modeled after is a program that Vivian Yip came up with. And you can hear her episode it was episode 17, I believe.
I think so.
Yeah. So Vivian Yip and James, they talk about they do flips as well as MTR, but she really goes into the MTR business model in her screen, which is what she educates on. So she's got a lot of education on that. She has a Facebook group and does a lot of classes. And so if you're getting into this, I would definitely recommend following her and learning more, and maybe taking some classes and getting into some of her programs, because what she's come up with, she's been doing this for 5 years, and she has second to none on the screening process with both short-term and midterm. So it's not just midterm specific. That happens to be what she specializes in, but she also does the short-term, but her process works for both. So what we do, we have a PMS, which is a property management software that we use. The one that we use is Journey. And really more so than the software is the screening software that comes with that. And the screening software that we're currently using is called AutoHost. And AutoHost, and it connects with a lot of different management software. So it's not just Journey, but HostAway and all these other bigger PMS services will be able to integrate this. But basically, when somebody books, and we can, with this in place, we are confident to be able to take instant bookings. And we have this on our properties. Our properties that are set up with this program, we have open to instant booking, which I think we talked about this with Airbnb, 60% of people search for instant book properties.
Yeah.
Again, I don't know if that's just short term. I don't know if midterm is that high, but I'm sure there's still a decent number of people that are looking for those because they don't want to go back and forth. But midterm tends to have a little more back and forth because people want to ask questions because they're there for longer.
Yeah, it's a home that they're going to be in.
Yeah, I feel like even with Instant Book, we get questions before people actually book it, sure, because there's just a little more investment on their end, so they've got more questions.
Anyone just instant book it without any questions?
We had a co-hosted property that did. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was one. So anyway, the way that we do this is we have this screening software that uses a lot of background checks. Like it uses a lot of AI in the background, and it's not just a background check and credit check and that sort of thing. It does when someone books a resident, like has a confirmed booking, and we get their information. Airbnb pushes their information through to the system, whether it's Airbnb or VRBO or direct booking. Once we have that information, it runs a security check on them, and it will find everything with the limited amount of information it gets, and it'll scour their email. It'll tell you, hey, this email was just created 3 days ago. Red flag. Mm-hmm. This might be a scammer. Or it'll check, be like, hey, they've had this email for 30 years. Looks good. It'll check their social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. X. It'll go through and it'll like scour everything on these people. And then we have, so once the booking is confirmed, our software sends out a guest verification portal.
Kind of like a risk analysis.
Yeah, basically. It does a risk analysis, but then we send out this verification where they have to fill out additional information. So they upload their ID. They got to like take a picture of their passport or their driver's license. They take a picture of themselves. And so it cross-references with facial recognition to make sure that's actually the person that's uploading that. And it will verify the ID to make sure it's actually a government issued ID. And then once we have all their information, they get their phone number, their email, their address. It will run all kinds of additional. So it does all the social media stuff, but it'll go back. It like scours the internet for anything on this person. Find out if there's anything that seems off, either like a scammer or they had issues, or it'll even have like red flags, like, hey, this person lives 3 miles away from the property. Like, look more into this. And one of the things is we ask questions like, what is the purpose of travel? So a lot of times we get people that are remodeling a home or it's an insurance placement. And so they are only 3 miles away from their home. So it's like, okay, that checks out. So it'll do all this additional stuff. This is more than you get on just doing like an application for long-term rental and checking someone's credit and their background, their criminal background. It goes way deeper. So if we get somebody that flags with all these, it does like 4 levels. It's like green means, hey, we don't see any issues. You're probably good to go ahead and take this person on.
Yeah.
Yellow's like, there's a few things. Hey, they live close to the property. You might want to check that out. And then it's got like an orange, like, hey, here's a risk factor. It's got a higher risk factor. And here's the reasons you might want to do additional verification. And we have it set to where, and then it goes into red, which is like, hey, red flag. This is probably not something you want to rent to, or you need to do additional like verification on this. We have those ones set to where it'll automatically trigger those they have to go into a credit application and an actual criminal background check. And there's additional checks that we'll do on those people that raise those flags, just to make sure that it's somebody that we want in the property, or that we're not getting somebody that's going to be an issue. Right. With the midterm rentals too, a lot of the potential squatters and things that people are worried about, I feel like a lot of that kind of weeds itself out because, one, our properties are on the high end of the market. They're all beautifully renovated and we're charging top dollar. So it's a higher barrier to entry. So someone has to prepay that first month just to get into the property. Right. So I feel like that helps to alleviate some of those concerns. Whereas if somebody's on the lower end, they might have a higher risk of getting scammers or possible squatters. But here's the other thing with all these verification like checks that we do, if we do get somebody that's a problem or is looking to do something that's not desirable, or a potential trespasser situation where they're squatting, with our checks and balances and all the information they have to put in, a lot of times that's going to deter somebody from wanting to move in. Like, oh, these are really looking in, they know who I am. Or if they don't check out, they're like, we're going to look into this. So right. I feel like it kind of deters people. Like if there's bad intentions, they're probably going to cancel the reservation and we're not going to have that person in the house. So it's a really good roadblock for people, and if people are actually legit and aren't going to be an issue, then they shouldn't have a problem providing this information because they're moving into the house for a few months at a time.
Right.
So I think it really helps weed those people out for sure.
Hey guys, if you're finding value or just want to follow along on our journey, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe. That would help us tremendously. You can also follow us on Instagram @TheBrokeMillionaires and be sure to share with your friends. Now let's get back to the show.
And then the last, two more things, I guess. It does, we have a guest lease that we have where it automatically, once they fill everything out, it takes them to the guest lease. They agree to that and they have to sign that. And the guest lease is not like a normal tenant lease. It creates a guest/innkeeper relationship. So it's kind of like something you're signing when you go to a hotel. You sign everything in the hotel.
Yeah.
And that's basically what it is. But it's creating basically like the bullet points are, they are saying that they have a primary residence and this is a temporary housing for them. They're only going to be staying from this date to that date, and then they'll be going back to their primary residence. And so what that does is it establishes an innkeeper relationship, not a landlord-tenant relationship. It establishes the innkeeper-guest relationship.
Yeah.
And so now if they overstay their welcome, they are now trespassing. And it's something where you can actually call the police and have them removed for trespassing versus it becoming a civil matter and having to go to court for somebody that's squatting, basically. So the whole point of the guest lease is to prevent this from becoming a civil matter, which is the last thing you want to hear is a civil matter, because then you got somebody that can be in there for a year. I mean, you hear these horror stories of people in there for like 1 to 2 years.
Multiple people that's happened to.
Yeah. So the whole point of that is to prevent, if somebody gets past all these checks and balances or checks and on the verification and everything, and they've got to sign this lease. So this guest lease is what we would provide to the police, showing, hey, this is not, we're not a landlord. This is not a tenant. This is basically a hotel. We operate like a hotel. Yeah, here's what they agreed to and what they signed. So, right. And it has been tested in certain states. This guest lease has held up in this situation as a trespassing case and not gone to a civil matter. So it's good that it has been stress tested.
Yeah.
And lastly, we get a deposit. So we actually do, even with our Airbnb guests, we get a $500 deposit, and it's a credit card hold. So that's just for incidentals, but again, it's one more thing that people are going to have to do and agree to, right, to help prevent people coming in that we don't want in the home. So it's a program. Again, this is Vivian Yip's program. We've kind of tweaked it a little bit for our business model, but it's based on the teachings that we've learned from her, and has served her very well. And we've already started to implement this in our properties and our co-hosted properties. Our co-host owners love it because they're getting access to stuff that they wouldn't be able to do on their own, because they wouldn't have all these programs in place, because it's expensive to have this stuff set up, especially if you're only doing one property. Yeah. Whereas we got bulk pricing, we're able to integrate this. We've already got everything kind of figured out. So we're able to integrate their property into these processes. And so it gives them a lot more protection that they wouldn't have just doing it on their own.
Right.
And if you don't have the proper software, property management software, you can't even do this stuff on Airbnb. Like you can't get a guest lease, you can't get a deposit. In order to be able to do that stuff, you have to have third-party property management software hooked up to your Airbnb. So when we take on a co-hosted property, we have to get them implemented into the software to be able to do this, but then they get access to our process and able to get that extra protection.
Yeah. Lots more protection for everyone.
Yeah, and protection is always good, especially when it comes to real estate in places like California, where it's a guest, or I guess it's a tenant friendly, tenant friendly. So we take the word tenant out of everything, and we don't have tenants, we have guests. Yeah, but we
never use
make
the
sure
word tenant.
Yeah, and we haven't had any problems. I mean, knock on wood, but we haven't had any issues thus far with anything really. We've had a few needy guests, but no issues with people not leaving on time, and any major issues that came out of anything. I mean, we're good hosts. We take care of issues right away. We're
very responsive.
Make sure that these are good, safe, clean houses, and if there is something that needs maintenance, we're on it right away.
The cleaning you're really good about. It's like white glove basically that you take to the floors and everything after.
Yeah, so after our cleaning crew goes through, I take a Lysol wipe, and I will go through and spot test different parts of the house.
It's just like a baby wipe, right?
The Lysol wipe pulls up our dirt, though.
Does it?
Yeah.
Have you tested that?
No, but I just know in the back of my mind that it does, so that's what I use. And I think the Lysol wipe is probably scarier because people just think it's like cleaner.
You know how I love Lysol everywhere.
Yeah. Sometimes I wear rubber gloves. Not very often, though. Anyway, I use a Lysol wipe, yes, but I make sure that floor is clean.
Very clean.
Yes.
Yeah.
And when we go into the houses after they've been cleaned, even before guests check in, I put booties on, or we take our shoes off, and so you'll never catch us with shoes in the house, because I wouldn't appreciate that if we were moving into a house that's just been cleaned.
Which I don't. The last few houses we had been in those floors were so disgusting. I think we ended up wearing shoes in the house because the floors were so nasty. The last two that we had last year that we personally had to be in.
That we lived
on
in?
the island? Yeah.
Oh, the ones we rented? Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, those were bad. They were like...
Bad. Like, you walk in, took off our shoes, and our feet were black.
Yeah, that was...
And
yeah.
it had just been cleaned.
Yeah, they didn't clean.
So.
They did not take a Lysol wipe to make sure that they...
No.
And so our cleaning ladies...
They know.
Didn't like us at first, but they've learned and they've gotten equipment specifically for our properties because they know that I'm going to come with that Lysol wipe. So now they take the Lysol wipe before I come through to make sure that it's clean. And I don't have, like, now they're always on top of it now, but they got like a special steamer for some of our properties that were a little more difficult. And they've used our process on some with OxyClean, and they know what we're looking for.
Yeah.
Because you can't just get it clean with a normal mop and some chemicals. Like, just smears. I feel like it just smears the dirt everywhere.
Yeah.
So many cleaners try to do the pads, and they just like, oh, just use multiple pads. But like, you're literally just smearing the dirt everywhere. It's not picking it up. So yeah, they know what we expect now, and so we've kind of fine tuned the cleaning process.
Yes.
But
absolutely.
Took a while to get there.
It did.
It wasn't a one and done type of thing.
It did.
Yeah. All right, so I think that kind of sums up our whole, like, the last 3 episodes really sums up kind of how we operate and, how we find properties that are going to be good at this, how we decide to do it, how we price them, how we market them, and how we, screen our guests and how we control the calendar. That's really kind of, you bring all that together and we've done, we don't have a lot of properties, but our properties that we do have are high grossing properties. And, we do very well. With the property that we're moving into, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to move in there for the rest of the year, going to figure out how to add a couple ADUs, and then we're going to turn the main house into a midterm rental and the 2 ADUs, and it'll be the same thing. It'll be another high grossing property. And we'll have 3 of these in Costa Mesa that are doing well.
3 minutes of each other.
Yeah. And I get calls every single week. I'm getting, these placement providers reaching out like, hey, do you have anything Costa Mesa? I'm like, no, we're booked for 3 months. Like, I feel bad because I never get to actually, I give them referrals when I can, but we never have availability because they always need it. Like, I got this family that needs this next week because their house just flooded. And like, we never have.
We need to have some
availability.
Co-host properties and around.
We just need more properties. We need 30 properties instead of 3.
Yeah.
I mean, we're building with the co-host, and we've got a few more that we're bringing on hopefully by the end of this month, and then we'll just keep building the co-host portfolio to where we can have more offerings. And the more offerings we have, the more leads we get to be able to pass back and forth. And I think it'll just keep snowballing.
Yeah.
And on top of my greenhouse, my new greenhouse nursery idea.
On top of your day job.
On top of my day job that's starting to pick back up, so that's good. On top of the other out-of-state stuff that we're managing, on top of the other whatever, I don't even know. On top of the 4 kids that we're managing.
On top of the,
Jeez.
Yep.
All right. It's getting late. I think you're falling asleep.
I'm exhausted.
You're exhausted. You're always exhausted these days. It's been rough. It's been a rough 3 weeks.
It's been a rough 6 years with sleep. We'll sleep again one day.
We don't have a 6-year-old. He's only 5.
No, but it starts when you're pregnant with the lack of sleep.
Okay, fair enough. All right. You win.
Yeah, I for sure win.
All right. So that's it for now. If you guys have any questions about midterm rentals, feel free to drop them on Instagram, and we can talk about those in the next episode, or we'll get back to you on a DM. But we're always happy to help and happy to talk and point people in the right direction. It's becoming a big market. It's definitely, Airbnb's spending billions of dollars building out the monthly stays right now. They're making the shift to midterm because the short term is going away with all the cities outlawing them. So Airbnb is really stepping up and putting money into this new market.
Yeah.
So definitely something worth looking into if it's something that works in your area, or if you're interested in getting into it.
Mm-hmm.
If you're interested in investment opportunities, feel free to reach out to us. We've got 2 projects right now that we took on private investors to be able to have partners on these deals. So if you're looking to invest in something that's, you know, an alternative investment and not just the stock market, and you want better returns, you know, reach out to us and we'll see. You know, we have a lot of connections in other states as well. You know, we've got properties in other states, and so we're always doing projects out of state and doing flips and partnering with people. So if you're looking for investment opportunities, feel free to reach out to us, and you know, we can connect you or maybe partner with you on something. And what else?
What else?
Likes,
Still always
share the
looking
show.
for more guests.
Yes.
You know anyone that would be good on the show? If you have any suggestions, let us know.
We're gonna start doing more guest interviews. We had everything lined up before the pregnancy. We were trying to do this all before the baby came
a little early,
and that kind of blew up our interview schedule. So we had to make some arrangements and kind of reschedule some things. But
it has been a little difficult getting back into the groove with, I mean, anyone that's had a newborn knows that their sleep schedules are kind of all over the place. So timing when we're recording has been a little bit of a crapshoot.
So I think probably July we'll probably try to get back into doing some interviews once we are on a better sleep schedule.
Yeah.
But we're trying to get those lined up now so that we've got people on the schedule. So if you or anybody else you know be a good fit, reach out, and then
like and subscribe. Leave a review.
Yeah, word of mouth is the best way for a show to grow, and we're trying to grow this and get this to as many people that you know could learn something from this, or you know, at least you know, people that might be able to relate and get some motivation from it or encouragement. You know, if you're finding value in this, spread the word.
Let us know.
It's good to get that feedback. Helps us to keep on going, and
it really does. Yeah. Any feedback on that is.
It's nice to know we're not talking to a wall, so feedback is appreciated. You know, and I mean we're what well over 400 cities now that have downloaded.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy. Like we have 30 countries.
Keeps going up. Yeah.
We have no idea who you guys are out there, but we really appreciate your support and listening to the show. So thank you.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. All right, guys, that's it for tonight. Get out there and make it happen.